We're going to move along to our next and final returning 2019 speaker, Senay Daniel, who is an entrepreneur and community advocate.
Thank you, Anna. Let me get my slides up real quick, and I'll try to make this fancy and make this quick so we can all get on time to the next event. All right, hi. In case you didn't catch what you just heard, my name is Senay Daniel. This is, and our presentation is called Autism in Color. 1 year later, last year, we went under the title All the Colors of the Spectrum, and we are going under the title Autism in Color for a very special reason, which I'll describe shortly. Just a quick executive summary just about us. The second half of the us couldn't make it today, but I'll speak for her the best I can. Just where we are today since presenting last year, a little bit of a recap of our topic from last year and our progress on our proposal 1 year later, and how you can support us down the road. And this is a quick quote. For autistic individuals to succeed in this world, they need to find their strengths and the people that will help them get to their hopes and dreams, by Bill Wong. Just a little bit about me, or about us rather. My name is Senay Daniel. Last year, I was an employee at Ernst & Young as a technology consultant. I have since moved on from that job and have taken a fellowship with a very prestigious association called Venture for America, founded by 2020 presidential candidate Andrew Yang. It is an association for entrepreneurs and students and recent grads interested in entrepreneurship to work in smaller market cities where they can serve at a startup for 2 years and afterwards either elevate into leadership at a startup or go venture out and start their own business. I graduated from the Fisher College of Business at Ohio State University with a concentration in management information systems. And my mentor, my partner, and one of my dearest friends, Krainz Edison, is the program manager at ACE at Nysonger Center. She is a Len Fellow, an MSW from Ohio State University College of Social Work. And just our bit of our journey today, Karen and I had known each other since the summer of 2017. I was one of her students in the ACE program. She was a very close mentor of mine, helped support me as I worked to graduate college and make that final push into the job markets. During that time, she took me volunteering for this to this organization called Plan, where we mentored Dublin City schools graduates who are on the autism spectrum looking to transition into adulthood. And what I noticed was there was virtually no ethnic minority representation in that group, and we felt that we were badly underserving this community as an institution at Ohio State and Columbus at large, and we wanted to change something about that. And that leads to our problem statement, which is that children and adults, young adults of color, are underserved and overlooked by their healthcare providers, educators, and employers. And furthermore, they are erased and overlooked by a media ecosystem and public conversation that doesn't include them in the discussion whatsoever, let alone their voices. And I think a root of the problem is the representation of autistic characters in media. If you look at the films represented here are The Big Bang Theory, Atypical, The Good Doctor, and Rain Man. And what do these folks have in common? The first thing that jumps out to me is that they are all men, they are all white, assumed to be hetero oftentimes, and that leaves out a lot of people from the conversation. And if you look very quickly, there are also very many ridiculous and abhorrent stereotypes of people of color and ethnic minorities in the American media today. If you're here, you are probably smart enough to know that these portrayals are bogus, and that we do not need to have these play into our medical decision-making, our employment decision-making, our education leadership at all. And just look at the facts. If you look at the charts here, black folks and Hispanic folks are underrepresented in the diagnosis rates. They're also Black pre-K students are disproportionately suspended in school, also disproportionately arrested, and there are cultural differences and challenges and misunderstandings stemming between medical staff and families due to the divergence of values and understandings that the predominantly white medical field and the diverse clientele of those on the autism spectrum represent. And also, just because people of color may have autism, that does not shelter them from the racism that they will face in the outside world. It amplifies it. But we in this chart we show that employers, when students whiten their resumes, they change their name, remove all associations to ethnicity, ethnic organizations, religious organizations, their prospects almost virtually double in size. And this goes on today with the murders of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and so on. And what often is left out of the conversation is the effect of disability. On the top left, you see Charles Kinsey, an autistic man who was shot by the police in 2016. In the middle, you see Freddie Gray, a young man who was exposed to lead in his youth, which led to many developmental and cognitive disabilities that may have contributed to his death at the hands of Baltimore police. On the top right, you see Elijah Mclean, a young man who was going for a stroll in Colorado, and due to his anemia, he covered up his face with a mask, which led to suspicion. And in the bottom right, you see Jeremy McHale, who's a paraplegic and who was also shot by the police. And this cycle continues. It must stop. Many Americans are waking up to it, and it does not exclude those with autism and other disabilities. It's far often the target just becomes bigger, and that needs to stop. Our 2019 proposal is a support group for young adults ages 18 to under 30 with autism who identify as non-white or Hispanic or Latino, Latina of any races. We want to create like a sort of resource group to for people to find each other, people to discuss issues unique to them, and so on. I myself, being a young man of color with autism, I would have given the world for an opportunity to find others like me. I wanted to know that I wasn't the only one, that there was someone I could talk to who knew the challenges I was going through, who knew the certain struggles. Even though I got this far today, there are still times in my life where regrettably I wish that I could have cut my traits on the autism spectrum out of my body with a knife. But talking to Karen, talking to other people like me made me realize that this is not a cross I bear. This is my greatest weapon, and I hope to have other people find out the same thing. And just another special announcement, we are going forward, beginning programming in July with the name Autism in Color. And if you see here, this is a picture with of one of my favorite movies, Clerks, where the lead character Dante has to create a sign out of shoe polish because the steel shutters indicating his store is open have been jammed with gum. And what we need to keep this going and make continued success in this organization possible is we need funding. The amounts are in the description. In all reality, I could give you a number, but any amount, even if it is $1, 1 penny, helps us. And how you can help, you can donate, be an ally, volunteer, refer a friend, and anything you can think of. The best thing you can do is to lend your support. Our contact information is right here. This is my phone, my email address, my LinkedIn, and I don't know if you guys can click on this from the presentation, but I hope that you guys will be able to see this soon. And I would like to conclude with a quote from Dr. Stephen Shore. If you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senay. That was fantastic. Thank you for your words and your insight. We are going to go ahead and move on to our final speaker of the morning session. Senay was our final returning 2019 speaker, so I want to thank all of our returning speakers for their talks and for their updates from 1 year later. It was wonderful talking with you all. If you have questions from anyone from our returning 2019 class, please submit them in the chat, and speakers, please take a look at the Q&A and be sure to type your responses. I see we have a few questions in there for some of our morning speakers.